Yes. Yeah. Good evening, all. So before I start, can one please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not? Yes. So yesterday we had some introductory session on this Azure Data Engineer. Just I'll take just 2 to 5 minutes what we have discussed in the last session. But why Azure? Why data engineer? Role of data engineer? Difference between data engineer, data scientist, and data analyst. Data engineer products or services job market of Azure Data Engineer. Cloud is majorly utilized for storing, analyzing, and delivering data in various forms. So we have got on-premises. In the case of on-premises, we need to set up your own hardware infrastructure. On top of that, OS installation, purchasing of database license, and installation of database server, and designing of database objects. To maintain all this, we require separated teams, hardware team, operating system team, networking team, security team, database administrators. But here everything in the cloud premises. But here everything in the cloud premises. We no need to maintain all this. We no need to maintain all this. No need to maintain any infrastructure. Don't need to maintain any infrastructure. No need of any licenses. Everything in the cloud environment. Everything in the cloud environment, right? Yes. So data engineers, with the help of cloud services, they work on the data and make it structured and useful. Data engineers responsible for smooth data flow from the source to destination. Data engineers responsible for preparing the data, cleansing data, filtering data, transforming data, and processing data. And if you see the difference between this data engineers, data scientist, and data analyst, data scientist strategizes for the future, analyze the data, identify the patterns, and recommendations for the future. But data analyst summarizes the past. So data scientist strategizes for the future. Data analyst summarizes the past, analyze the data, summarize the data of the past, and visualize the data. So if you talk about data engineer, it does all the groundwork for data scientist and data analyst. It means more than 80% of the data analysis work is done by data engineers. That extraction, process, transformation, loading, all this processing, everything done. Data engineering involves what are the sources of the data, from where you need to bring, where you need to pull the data from, what is the format of the data you need to get, how to transform it, and what is the destination of the data. And why Azure data engineers are in demand today. Role of Azure data engineering. Why Azure data engineers in demand today? Means generally this data engineers, they are going to create a data warehouse for the organizations. Means and also data engineers communicate with the data scientist to understand the key requirements, data requirements, and also communicating with the business team to know the business requirements. So this data engineers constantly keep processing, analyzing, and monitoring the data. So this data engineers, right? The data engineers, they are going to create a data pipelines, and also they need to make sure that the pipeline is secure. So this that, and we have got other roles of Azure data engineer, which involves designing entire data flow architecture, creating data warehouse for storing of analytical data, ETL. It's one of the key tasks of data engineers. They are going to extract data from multiple sources. They are going to extract the data from multiple sources. Data engineers extracting data from multiple sources, transform it into structured and queryable form. They load the data into company storage service for further business evaluations by the data scientists. And data monitoring, right? And this data engineers make sure that the ETL is performed in a proper manner. The data is available anywhere and everywhere it is required. Data security. Data security. Data security is also a major responsibility of data engineers. Data security is also a major responsibility of data engineers. The data need to be secure at each step of the process without any data leaks or exposure. Collaboration and communication. Collaboration and communication. They need to constantly communicate with the business team. They need to constantly communicate with the business team to check the data requirements, the data needs, collaborating with the data scientist, delivering the data as per their requirement. And analytics, they need to have some strong analytical knowledge, and also some certain things has to be automated, like some kind of extractions. And data engineering products or services. Azure SQL. Azure SQL, it's a simple cloud or DBMS. It's a cloud or DBMS. Azure Data Lake, it is a kind of file system in Azure, distributed file system with unlimited data storage. Azure Synapse. It is for data warehouse purpose, for data analytics, for batch processing, parallel processing. Azure Data Factory, it's a cloud ETL. Azure Data Factory, it is a cloud ETL, cloud-based ETL. Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks, right? It's a fast Apache Spark-based data analytics platform, which brings the data science, data engineering, and the business together. Azure Cosmos DB, a cloud-based NoSQL database. Azure Streaming, analyzing and processing high volumes of streaming data. Streaming data means data which keeps on generating, data which keeps on incrementing. Such data we call it as streaming data. Azure Key Vault. It's a secure key management to protect the data in the cloud. So these are the main products. Azure Data Engineering, right? Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Cosmos Streaming. As an ADF developer, as a Databricks developer, or Azure Data Engineer, you are going to interact with all these services. We have got storage services like Azure SQL is a storage service, Data Lake, Azure Cosmos. So you are going to interact with all this, right? So I was discussing like Azure SQL. It is a cloud or DBMS. It is a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft in Azure. It is for OLTP operations, captures end user transactions. Azure Data Lake, distributed file system with unlimited data storage in cloud, is called as Data Lake. It is a file system. It is a file system. If you talk about, if you got knowledge on this Hadoop, HDFS is there, Hadoop distributed file system. It is on-premises DFS, but Azure Data Lake is a cloud DFS. I can say ADF, this Azure Data Lake. It is a large variety. It is a large repository. Large varieties of structured unstructured and semi-structured data. It is a large repository of large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. Every cloud data lake provides some benefits. First one, unlimited data storage. Secondly, supports all varieties of data. All varieties of data means structured data. Yes. Structured data means like DB tables, database tables, Excel files, and semi-structured data. All varieties of data like semi-structured, which is not fully structured, which is not fully unstructured, like XML files, JSON files, unstructured data. Unstructured data like images, videos, raw text. And third, supports all formats of data, Like if we talk like .txt files, .csv files, .txt, .csv, .tar, .zip, .gzip. Generally here in data lake, right? Here data is in files. Here data in files means we cannot set up relationship. Between the files. Between the files. For example, emp.txt file is there. dept.txt file is there. We have got attendance.txt file is there. We got like salaries.txt file is there. Can you set up any relationship between these files? Can you set up any relationship? But in if with our tables, SQL tables, right? You can set up relationship. But if data in tables, we can set up relationship. We can set up relationship by using primary key, or foreign key. If data in tables, we can set up relationship by using primary key or foreign key. Here we cannot set up we cannot set up relationship between the files. Okay. But if data is in the tables, we can set up relationship by using primary key or foreign key. For example, we have got tables, the following tables. We have got tables like orders table, sales transactions, customers, products. Orders, sales transactions, customer, and products. Now, what is the relationship here? What is the relationship? What is the relationship? Order of what? Order of what? Product. Booked for whom? Order of what? Product. Booked for whom? A customer. Once order confirmed. Once order confirmed as a transaction, as a sales transaction. Order of what? Order of what? Product. Product booked for whom? Customer. Customer. Once order is confirmed, sales transaction. Now, what I'm expecting here? What I'm expecting. So here in the case of data lake, we cannot maintain relationship. So I'm expecting a cloud or DBMS. Cloud or DBMS. The two used for data warehouse. The two used for data warehouse. The two I'm expecting. The two I'm expecting parallel processing. The two I'm expecting parallel processing. There is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. I'm expecting Cloud or DBMS, the two used for data warehouse, the two expecting parallel processing. There is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. So next, going with the Synapse Analytics. I was discussing about Synapse Analytics in the last class. Just I'll bring it. Azure Synapse. It's a Cloud or DBMS for data warehouse, for analytics, for batch processing, for parallel processing. Here we have a database. Here we have a database called. Here we have a database called Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse. SQL Pool DB. SQL Pool DB. Simply we call it as Synapse DB. Synapse DB. Here we have a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. Simply we call it Synapse DB. What is Synapse DB? What is Synapse DB? Cloud data warehouse. Cloud data warehouse of Azure, right? Yes. What is Synapse DB? Cloud data warehouse of Azure. When to go for Azure Data Lake? When to go for Azure Data Lake and when to go for Azure Synapse? When to go for Azure Data Lake and when to go for Azure Synapse? If data is structured, go for Azure Synapse. If data is unstructured, go for Azure Data Lake. Go for Azure Data Lake, right? Yes. Now next, that is what Azure Synapse. Next, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory. I can say it is a cloud-based ETL. It is a cloud-based ETL of Microsoft in Azure Cloud Platform. ADF is a data integration service. See here, for example, you got some OLTP systems, online transactional processing, day-to-day operations. What are the OLTP systems? Examples of OLTP systems. Examples of OLTP systems in the cloud, in Azure Cloud, right? We have got Azure SQL, Oracle in on-premises database, MySQL, SQL Server, MongoDB, Azure SQL, Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB, all this, right? And if we talk about this data warehouse, you can say like the Azure Synapse, and here Azure Synapse is the one. You can say like the Teradata, Netija, Vertica. Azure Synapse, Teradata, Netija, Vertica. These are the data warehouse system used for data warehouse. Now, where this ADF in the OLTP systems or data warehouse systems? Where can you see this ADF? So here Azure SQL here in the OLTP systems for and Azure Synapse data warehouse. But ADF, it won't be within this OLTP or data warehouse. It is in between these two. In between these two, right? Yes. It acts as an integration between these OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. It acts as an integration service between these OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. So ADF doesn't come in OLTP. ADF doesn't come in data warehouse. ADF is an integration service. Is an integration service between the OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. Data warehouse systems. ADF is a data integration. It is a data integration service. Okay, between these OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. For example, all transactions captured at OLTP systems, How to bring these transactions, how to bring these transactions into warehouse systems. We have ETL. What we have? ETL. By using ETL tools. How to bring these transactions into warehouse? We have ETL tools. Like for example, Informatica, data stage, talent, example, right? All these are on-premise ETL tools. But I need ETL. I need a ETL on cloud. But I need ETL on cloud. That is what? ADF. But I need a ETL on cloud. That is what? ADF. Using ADF, we can connect with using ADF, we can connect with cloud databases. We can connect with the cloud databases. Non-cloud databases. Non-cloud databases. NoSQL databases. Okay. So using ADF, we can extract data and pump the data into data lake or Synapse, right? So here it is ETL. Here it is ETL, but our working style is ELT. But our working style is ELT. Extract, load, transform. For huge volumes, ETL is bad. So for huge volumes, we are going for ELT. Okay, fine. So I was talking about the services, right? So Azure data engineering products are services. In that Azure SQL, it's a cloud or DBMS. Azure Data Lake. Azure Data Lake, it's a file system. It is a distributed file system. So, okay, and ADF, it's a cloud ETL. See, we don't need to write any code. We don't need to write any code in this ADF. It's a simple drag and drop. It's a simple drag and drop, right? We talk previously and now. We observe the previous versions and these versions of ADF. If you see about ADF versions, right? Yes, we have two versions. First one, ADF version 1, ADF version 1. Second, like ADF version 2, ADF version 2, ADF version 1, version 2. In ADF version 1, observe in ADF version 1, simply I can say it is used to perform. It is used to perform EL only. It is used to perform EL only, but not ETL. Understand here, but not ETL. Means there are no inbuilt transformations. There are no inbuilt transformations. To perform transformations. Some additional services to perform transformations. So I can say some additional services are required. So in area, I'm talking version 1. In version 1, but in version 2, nothing is required. It's very simple. I'll say that to perform transformation, some additional services required, such as ADLA, Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure Data Lake Analytics. Here, analytics done by, USQL. USQL. What is this USQL? Unified structured query language. Unified structured query language. Don't think it is SQL. It is not equivalent. It is not equivalent to basic SQL. It is not basic SQL. It is different. And secondly, in the version 1, you need to have a lot of other knowledge. But in version 2, there's no prerequisite. You doesn't have any knowledge or put anything directly. You can work without writing any code in version 2. But in version 1, you need to have the knowledge about ADLA, HD Insights, HD Insights, HD Insights means Hadoop Insights. Hadoop Insights. What is Hadoop? Is a distributed. It's a distributed computing cluster. Cluster means group of systems connected in a network. We call it as a cluster. Same big data. Same big data. Hadoop framework in Azure cloud. It's called as HD Insights. So here in HD Insights, here we have a data flow language. Here we have a data flow language called PIG, Apache PIG we say. Data flow. Data flow means sequence collection of pipes. At each pipe, some transformations will happen. data flow, like data extraction, data cleaning, data filtering, data aggregations, right? So using this previously, using the pig, these data flows, using pig, these data flows are written, and the transformations are performed. And thirdly, what are the other things you need to know in Azure functions? Azure functions. These are very complex to implement. These are very complex to implement. Next, you need to have the knowledge about Azure Databricks. You need to have knowledge on this stored procedures. I'm talking about version 1, not in version 2. Stored procedures. Stored procedures. You need to have the knowledge on the stored procedures. So to perform transformations, there are no so to perform transformations, there are no inbuilt transformations. You should be a developer first. You should be a developer first. That too should be expert in scripting using USQL or pig, generally pig by Hadoop developer. Hadoop developer, you need to have the knowledge on this. Like Hadoop developer should be Azure functions. Azure functions by .NET developer. Generally perform Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks, like PySpark developer. Stored procedures by SQL developer. So just the version 1, ADF version 1, you should have knowledge on like Hadoop. You should just like be a Hadoop developer, like a .NET developer, like Spark developer, like SQL developer. You need to have this to perform these transformations. So Pig is a very, it has got a great boom previously. Pig is a data flow language. It can process all varieties of data. 100 lines of Java code we can write within 6 to 8 lines in Pig. That is what the easiness of Pig, right? So just like the animal name, it can process all varieties. It can eat anything, means it can eat anything. It can process in the same way. It can process all varieties of data. That's why the name Pig. Whatever the dirty data, Pig can process. So that's that. But later when Spark came into the market, Pig got outdated. For example, if no ADF version 2, still ADF version 1 only, then the prerequisite should be a developer having knowledge on Spark, Pig, stored procedures. So it should be expert in all this. This is the problem. This is the problem with ADF version 1. ADF version 1. Afterwards, Microsoft recognized Microsoft recognized this problem and decided to make a ETL tool. To make a ETL tool. To make a ETL tool with zero coding. With zero coding. With zero coding. That is nothing but ADF version 2. That is nothing but ADF version 2. So they launched a new version. They launched a new version. ADF version 2. Previously, if you talk about Informatica, if we talk about Informatica, it's a data brokerage tool. 80% drag and drop. 80% you have seen drag and drop. And 20% writing SQL script. 20% writing SQL scripts. But ADF version 2. But ADF version 2 is zero coding. Is a zero coding ETL. Because of this zero coding, today this data factory, it is like a hero, right? It is not based on its performance, based on this zero coding. But the performance is very good. Even terabytes of data it can process. So here in ADF version 2, no need to have that all this directly. It's zero coding. No need to have that knowledge on this pig or these things, right? Directly, it's a zero coding ETL. In ADF version 2, we got new features. Such as data flows plus Power Query. Here we got many built-in transformations. Here we got many built-in transformations. We got many built-in transformations. No need to write any code. No need to write any code, right? Yes. In ADF version 2, we define data flows. These data flows are internally converted into Databricks jobs. And executed by Spark. Here we no need to write. Here we no need to write any Spark or Databricks code. Here we no need to write any Spark code or Databricks code. Okay, So everything internally they are converted into this and executed, right? Yes. So initially as a ADF developer, if you want, you can get into the company. Today there is a great boom for ADF, Databricks, and if Databricks along with Spark, if you've got PySpark, right, that too, yeah, more you can see that more calls, Databricks along with knowledge with PySpark, right? So with higher packages, you got bigger packages available, right? Can just okay check Google and check it. Lot of jobs for Azure data engineers, for PySpark, for all these things, right? Yes. So just zero coding is involved for ADF version 1. So you can just go to this course content, right? Yes. So all that overview of Azure's resources, Azure Data Factory, top level components, pipelines, activities, linked services, datasets, triggers, pipelines, link services, datasets, working with AZURE, binary, CSV, Excel, JSON, ORC, Parquet files, activities, creating variables, copy data, copying files from one block, copying data from Databricks notebook, Azure functions, get metadata, filter for each if condition, switch until triggers, schedule trigger, storage event trigger, tumbling window trigger, integration runtime, self-hosted, auto integration runtime, SSISIR, data flows, mapping data flows, transformations, different types of this, and nearly 50 exercises, practical exercises I'm going to discuss in this ADF. You can see all these 50 exercises here as shown. And Azure Databricks, introduction to this big data, introduction to this Hadoop, introduction to Spark, introduction to this cloud computing and Azure, and coming to this Azure Databricks. And the Databricks cluster management, displaying cluster, starting cluster, terminating a cluster, deleting a cluster, cluster information, cluster logs, cluster modes, auto scaling, Databricks utilities, credential data utility, file system, job, library, notebook, integration with blob storage, SQL database, Synapse, Databricks handling multiple file formats, Databricks batch processing, historical data load, incremental data load, date transformations, joins, windows, union operations, streaming API, Databricks Lakehouse, Delta Lake, and workflows in data and Azure Synapse. Overview of pools, user Synapse Analytics, Azure Storage Account, Synapse triggers, SQL database integration with Azure Synapse, incremental loads, logging and notifications, deep dive into copy activity, data flows, right? Different data flows and transformations, Spark pool, all this, right? In brief, in depth, as I said, right? Yes, check with this. Yesterday I was discussing, right? So as a Azure data engineer, so as a ADA, what you are going to see. First, I'll be discussing about ADF, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, PySpark, Azure Synapse, see Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, PySpark, Azure Synapse. These things in brief, right? Especially you can go as ADF developer, ADB developer, data engineer, PySpark developer. So especially you can, as compared with other training sites, the PySpark. See, I'm also going to discuss PySpark, which has got great demand in today's market. Like unlike other training sites, they won't go with this, right? They go with this Azure Data Factory, Databricks, or Synapse. With Azure Databricks, with PySpark, right? Fine. Azure SQL. And apart from this, I'm also going to provide you knowledge on this Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming. So I'm going to provide you knowledge on these things, right? Yes. So the duration of this really like around 3 months, and the timings of this batch. So for the first, okay. So here, so here at 7 p.m. at 7 p.m. right? Yes. ADF, ADF classes. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. You'll have ADF classes. And after 1 week from now, once you get the total basic of the, after discussing 1 week of ADF classes, parallelly at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay. You'll have Databricks, ADB classes. So 2 hours I'll be taking, 1 hour on this ADF and 1 hour on this Databricks, which includes PySpark. Later, once these are completed, I'll go with Synapse, Azure Synapse, right? So 2 hours per day, it will be 6 to 8, 1 hour on this ADF, 1 hour on this Databricks. People who want only ADF, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m, it will be like 40 days. And those who go for Azure Data Engineer, both ADF and ADB. So first ADF will be started 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So next, the tomorrow's class, the link is going to be changed, right? You are supposed to get enrolled for getting the link, right? Yes. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. you'll be having session. We'll be continuing with this ADF first. So I'll be showing you all the basics to the advanced level. So you'll be getting that live session videos. Even if you miss any session, you'll be getting the recording every day one recording. Means all these are live sessions. You'll be attending the sessions. Any queries then and there you can ask me. But if you miss the session also, even the session will be recorded. You will be getting the session because of some ill health or because of office timings. If you're unable to attend, you can go through those and attend the next sessions. Clear soft copy of the class notes. Everything I'll be typing and showing you. Now, once we start with these practicals, there won't be any theoretical, right? Everything is practicals, practical oriented, assignments and tasks to work with. And a WhatsApp group will be created. You'll be added to the WhatsApp tomorrow. So you'll be added to the WhatsApp group. You'll be, from tomorrow onwards, you'll be getting the notes and videos you'll be getting to your Google Drive, notes to your mail IDs, WhatsApp group for technical discussions. The last you'll be getting interview questions, right? Mostly asked interview questions. Fine. Any queries from your side, anyone? Right. So what I suggest as Azure Data Engineer, great demand today. Azure Data Engineer has got great demand. And even if you check it, right, jobs, one of the top high paying jobs, does data engineer jobs. So having a career in this data engineer, so you no need to write huge codes here. Everything I'll be briefing you about, right? Yeah. Any queries from your side, anyone? Right. Yeah.
Like apart from the class 2 notes, are they providing any materials?
Yeah, clear notes will be provided, right? Means
Apart
the
from this,
topic wise.
anything are you going to provide?
One second. That means you're talking about soft copy or hard copy?
Like soft copies, like materials
Soft,
apart from the class notes.
soft. So 1 second. We see about this ADF notes, clear notes, right? For example, each and everything, topic wise, you'll be getting these notes. Topic wise, these notes.
Yeah, like this is fine. And as well, like apart from this material, anything you are going to
See,
provide?
one thing, right? What is this? Prakash, Baba
Yeah,
Prakash, right?
yeah.
So there's nothing theoretical about these notes. Everything practical oriented. Everything I'll be discussing here. So whenever you're going with another one, what is the drawback with the previous one? Everything will be discussed. Okay, so everything practical oriented. So notes also will be practical oriented only, but everything will be clear in a clear form. You can see this. Anything like ADF, or if you go for ADB also, clear notes for this Databricks with PySpark notes, right? So topic wise, everything, right? Clearly, even people who are from zero programming also can easily understand by seeing these notes, right? This
Like for
Databricks.
PySpark and everything you are given
Yeah,
database
PySpark, totally PySpark.
notebooks.
So this PySpark computations, basics of this PySpark. Before I go with this, I'll also discuss, right? Uh, basics of this Hadoop and Spark knowledge will be provided, and totally this PySpark, Databricks with PySpark, total
Like
basics.
now you are showing these interest, right? So you will provide all these things regarding PySpark sessions.
All this PySpark fundamentals, PySpark persistence, PySpark fault tolerance, PySpark how they are computer introduction, ADB introduction, creating ADB instance, working with notebooks, creating and scheduling a job, cluster types, PySpark SQL, creating cluster memory, creating tables in ADB, types of schedulers, notebooks, magic commands, Databricks utilities, notebook utility, widget utility, DBFS, Databricks file system, list of file systems, mounting Databricks Unity catalog, Databricks Lakehouse platform, setting up Unity catalog, creating user groups, all this step by step, everything practical I'll be showing you. If you want, you can do parallel along with me. Yes, everything will be practical oriented, right? Yes. So
Okay,
even the Azure
this is
subscription,
copy activity, right?
pardon, right?
Copy activity. Like that, there are other activities, right?
So many
You
activities
some,
that is in ADF. If you go
yeah.
to that ADF notes, you can see all this.
Yeah, you are like you are going to cover all those things, or like
Yes, copy activity, wait activity, different types of
okay,
act get metadata activity, conditional split activity, if condition activity, lookup activity, all many activities are there. Come to this ADF, right? And different types
okay.
of transformations. Many things will be covered. Everything in brief, right? Right. Yes.
Sir, when ADB you will start, sir?
So one thing is everything in brief I'll be discussing. That's why I'll be
Yeah.
spending more examples. So as I said here, just 1 second. So initially, I'll be starting with ADF classes. After starting of ADF classes, after 1 week from now, ADB classes also going to start parallelly. So I'm saying from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., you'll have ADB introduction classes start parallelly. But initially, we'll go with ADF classes. From here onwards, both goes parallelly because if you go one after the other, it will take a lot of time to cover each all these things, right? So it takes both. I'll be covering like 2 months for this, 2 months for this ADF and ADF, both goes parallelly. So if anyone, if you're unable to attend 2 hours means daily, can go with 1 hour. First, you can go with ADF. Later, you can attend my ADB class. Right, multiple batches will be running, right? So if you're unable to spend 2 hours daily, you can go with ADF initially. Later, you can go with ADB one after the other. Right, fine. But ADB has got ADF has got demand, but as compared with that, Databricks with PySpark has got much more demand and huge packages for that. So as overall, as a data engineer, you'll be learning about all this. Data Factory, Databricks, PySpark, and Azure Synapse. Along with that, you'll be getting knowledge on this. You'll be interacting with all this. I'll be giving knowledge on this. Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Cosmos, and Streaming, right?
Sir, from tomorrow will you start ADB, sir?
From tomorrow, we'll be starting with ADF first.
Okay.
So for the next 1 week, ADF, and once you got the knowledge on this resources, these things, right? Basics, everything you got. After that, I'll start with ADB. Right?
Okay,
Means
fine.
means that 1 hour on ADF. First 1 hour, next 1 week it will be 1 hour class on ADF only. And after that, parallel 2 hours, 1 hour on ADF, 1 hour on parallel. Fine. Otherwise, if anyone, if you want to go one after that also, you can go, right? ADB, if you go sequentially, what will be the course duration? ADF and ADB, if you go parallelly, what will be the duration, right? So, yes. If you go parallelly, you can complete in 2.5 months, right? You can complete in 2 months. But it goes for more than 3.5 months. It goes if you go one after the other. Right. So what I suggest is go parallelly or go one after the other, right? It takes one after the other. It is taking time taking process. 3.5 months it takes, right? Tomorrow class timing at 6 o'clock. So the link is going to be changed tomorrow. You are supposed to get enrolled. Tomorrow class at 6 p.m. Tomorrow class at 6 p.m. I will be having a session tomorrow, 6 p.m. on ADF, right? For the next 1 week, it will be going with ADF classes, 1 hour. So you are supposed to get enrolled. So everything you'll be understanding everything 100%. Can ask queries. If again multiple examples will be provided, everything will be live interactive sessions. Everything I'll be showing you step by step. Because in a batch of students, right? People from non-programming or zero programming also will be there. So keeping all the students in mind, the sessions will go. Uh, before any prerequisites required, that also I'll be discussing before I go with the practicals, right? You can see a big message given by this online team about this payment process and procedure. You can see a big message and their contact details. You can see the payment details. You can see Google Pay or this other details. And don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment. Don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment to the mail ID that is provided. People, most of you, they will get enrolled, but they won't share the screenshot of that payment to the mail ID, Durgasoft online training at the gmail.com. They have provided, right? Yes. Any other queries, right? Yes. So just to get enrolled, to get added to the WhatsApp group, to get the videos daily basis, to get the notes. Yes, yes, Prakar Sarawat, right? Yes, you can attend both parallelly, not a problem. So yes, ADF and ADB. See, there is two choices for you. You want to go parallelly, you can go parallelly. What I suggest is going parallelly. It will just decrease the time bound. Means you will understand both. In ADF, there is no coding involved. In ADB, you will be seeing little bit of code, right? But not huge codings. Everything you will understand. So link for both are different. Yes, I'll provide you all the things. A WhatsApp group will be there where you can interact about the links, other things, time, everything. A WhatsApp group will be created tomorrow, right?
So I want to ask a question. Like, I just want to learn like Azure Databricks and PySpark. So the class will be from next week from 6 to 7 o'clock. Just wanted to confirm, like, will there be any relation with Azure Data Factory at that time?
See, you want only Databricks.
So I just want to learn point number 2 and 3 only, Databricks and PySpark.
Okay, not a problem, right? You can attend, go with no need of ADF. ADF is totally drag and drop.
Okay,
You can understand it. So from January 2nd at 6 p.m. it is going to start Databricks.
okay,
6
yeah,
p.m. and January 2nd.
okay,
And tomorrow next up to January 2nd, ADF classes and continuous both will be going parallel at 7 p.m. ADF, at 6 p.m. Databricks course, right? Yes.
yeah.
So people, you can go parallelly or you can go one after the other. That depends upon you. But yes, fine. So if I'm done with your queries, if there are no other queries, I'll sign off, right? Meet you tomorrow, same time at 6 p.m., right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Bye.